finally getting the matchup we've all been waiting for. Nearly 3 weeks since their Monday Night Football game was postponed due to the very scary Damar incident, the Bengals and the Bills are finally set to play each other in a game that has much higher stakes than the Monday Night Football game ever had. We are in the playoffs. We are in the divisional round of the playoffs. A spot in the AFC Championship game is on the line. This is a big game, guys, between two teams that have been some of the best in the NFL all year long. 12-4 Bengals, 13-3 Bills, and two teams that narrowly survived in the wild card round, with the Bills defeating the Dolphins 34-31, the Bengals surviving the Ravens 24-17. So now the question is, who wins? Two teams that have been great all year long, two teams that had very similar scares in the wild card round. Who advances to the AFC Championship game? That's what we're here to break down today. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. We're so glad that you could join us for this huge AFC Divisional Round prediction. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Of course, check out everything down in the description below, including our expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. If you want our official spread prediction for this game and all the rest of the NFL playoff games from now until the Super Bowl, as well as all the picks for next year for NFL and college, this is a place for you. We have some of the best picks in the entire country, and we want to share them with you. The link for that, again, down in the description below, so you can become a part of our GE Nation. So let's dive into this game, guys. Let's get into it, and let's start on the offensive side of the ball. And it's going to be a fun quarterback battle, right? Joe Burrow versus Josh Allen. We'll start with the Bengals. Clearly, they have been one of the best in the NFL because of Joe Burrow. Over 4,400 yards this season, 35 touchdowns, just 12 interceptions. He has Jamar Chase at his disposal, over 1,000 yards on the year and 9 touchdowns. He has T. Higgins at his disposal, over 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns. So Joe Burrow, who helped lead the team to the Super Bowl last year, has 2 1,000-yard wide receivers. They're very, very tough to stop. 26.1 points per game, over 260 passing yards per game, 95 rushing yards per game, which isn't a great number, but Joe Mixon, he's a bruising running back. He can go off when he wants to, and he's also very solid out of the backfield as a pass catcher. One of the, Joe Burrow's greatest check down guys is Joe Mixon, and he's really tough to take down. And that's something the Bills are going to have to kind of keep an eye on. So you have 2 1,000-yard receivers. You got Joe Burrow. Focus is going to be all on them. You got to watch out for Joe Mixon out of the backfield. A little dump pass off to him could easily go all the way to the house. The Bengals enter this game, guys, on a 9-game winning streak that nearly ended in the wild card round when they only beat the Ravens 24-17. They won that game thanks to a 98-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown. Don't know what would have happened if the Ravens had scored there, but the Bengals got it, and now they're back 1 game away from getting back to the AFC Championship. The Bills, on the other hand, they're very similar to the Bengals offensively. They're all about the pass, right? So we all want to focus on. Josh Allen, over 4,200 yards on the year, 35 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions, so very similar stats to that of Joe Burrow. Allen had over 350 yards and 3 touchdowns in that wild card victory against the Dolphins, but also committed a handful of turnovers in that one as well. Stephon Diggs, over 1,400 reception yards on the year, 11 touchdowns, one of the best wide receivers in the game. And Devin Singletary literally dragged the rest of the Dolphins defense past the marker to seal the deal in that wild card round, over 800 yards and 5 touchdowns on the year. This is a pretty balanced Bills offense across the board. The pass is the number 1 option, but it's still an offense nearly averaging 140 rushing yards per game. Bengals come into the game winning 9 straight. Bills enter the game winning 8 straight, but 5 of those 8 decided by 1 possession. Something to keep your eye on there. Very narrow victories for the Bills. And we'll get to more of that here in a second. But when you take a look at the defense, for both teams, the question is, how do you stop the opposing offense? With both opposing offenses being as good as they are, how do you stop Josh Allen? How do you stop Joe Burrow? For the Bengals, how do you stop Josh Allen? The defense is only allowing 20 points per game, 229 through the air, a little over 100 on the ground. Neither of those marks are too bad. And the funny thing with the Bengals is they win 9 straight games. Everybody wants to talk about the offense, right? How great the offense is, and they are. But you're sleeping on this Bengals defense. You're sleeping on this Bengals defense that in the middle of this 9-game winning streak has allowed over 24 points just one time. One time, all the way back on November 20th when they beat the Steelers 37-30. It's the only time they've allowed over 24 points. They've been stingy all year. They have 30 sacks on the year, 13 interceptions, 11 fumble recoveries, playing pretty good ball. And the key is forcing turnovers. That is going to be the key for the Bengals in this game. The Bills have been a turnover machine lately. The Bills have turned the ball over 10 times in their last 4 games, including 3 in each of the last 3 games. They had 3 turnovers against the Dolphins, nearly lost that game. They had 3 turnovers against the Patriots, won that game by 12, mostly due in part to 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns. And they had 3 turnovers against the Bears. Didn't really matter. They were going to beat the Bears regardless. But you look at 3 turnovers against the Dolphins in a game where the Dolphins are playing with their third-string quarterback. 3 turnovers against the Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa. Maybe the Dolphins win that game. 3 turnovers against the Patriots. You subtract one of those kickoff returns, definitely both. Patriots win that game. It's a 12-point victory. And the Bears, yes, forget about it. And yes, the Bengals can be criticized too. The Bengals narrowly beat the Patriots. The Bengals narrowly beat the Steelers. They narrowly beat the Ravens, the wild card round. They've had their fair share of scares too. But the Bills have been turning the ball over at a wild rate, and Josh Allen has been responsible for the majority of those. It's something to really watch out for in this game on Sunday afternoon. The Bills, defensively, always pretty solid under Sean McDermott. They're a tough squad. 40 sacks on the year for Buffalo, 17 interceptions, 10 fumble recoveries. Pretty dang good. So 27 forced turnovers and 40 sacks. They've got pretty much everybody. You got Tremaine Edmonds back there. You got Von Miller there. I mean, this is a dangerous Bills defense, guys, that's only given up 17.9 points per game, about 215 passing yards per game, and it's a little over 100 rushing yards per game. So still pretty stingy, obviously. Still pretty stingy, but still has a few question marks, right? We talked about a lot of those one-possession victories. The Bills are playing good ball, but they've allowed quite a bit of points as of late. Some of that is due in part to the turnovers. Obviously, the Dolphins were put into pretty good positions due to the offensive turnovers, and you really can't blame that on the defense. But it's something to be concerned about a little bit, at least over these last few weeks. The Bills' offense turning it over puts the defense in a very bad spot. They're not really the ones to blame if the defense is starting a drive on, their 20, teams on the Bills' 20. Not really the defense's fault to get in the end zone. So it's something to watch out for. All kind of runs together. Of course, it is a team sport, right? So what's going to happen in this game, guys? It's a Sunday afternoon game. For me, Sunday is the day to watch the playoffs. You have this game to start the day, and then later on, you have the Cowboys and the 49ers and the NFC Divisional. That prediction coming out here on the channel tomorrow. You do not want to miss out on that one. But what's going to happen in Buffalo? Obviously, a lot of emotion coming into this game. A lot of emotion. Because again, about 3 weeks ago, these two teams were set to play, had major playoff implications, and the game didn't even happen. The Bengals were winning that game 7-3 and were driving maybe to take a 14-3 lead when Damar went down. And obviously, extremely grateful, thankful that everybody's prayers and thoughts were answered with Damar able to recover from that. Or still on the road to recovery, but able to get through that incident. But of course, that game was canceled. Did not get played. So the Bengals maybe feel a little bit shafted, right? Because had they defeated the Bills there and then won their season finale against the Ravens, this game would be in Cincinnati, not in Buffalo. So if I'm the Bengals, I'm a little hurt by that. But obviously the Bills are here ready to go, ready to win a home playoff game again, ready to go out there and win it for Damar. A lot of emotion surrounding this game just from what happened 3 weeks ago. That doesn't even include, obviously, the high stakes for a spot in the AFC Championship game. So this is going to be the game to watch, maybe the game of the weekend. But ultimately, guys, I'm going to go with an upset here. Give me the Bengals to win this game. Give me the Bengals to win this game. I wholeheartedly believe the Bengals were going to win that game on Monday Night Football. Had the game been completed, I believe the Bengals would have emerged victorious. I believe right now the Bengals are playing better football than the Buffalo Bills. They're playing really good ball right now, and the defense is not getting talked about nearly enough. If they can force just 2 turnovers off of the Bills, whether it's interceptions, fumble recoveries, whatever, just 2 turnovers, they win this game, especially if Joe Burrow gets it going with T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and that check down to Joe Mixon. That's the X factor for the Bengals in this one. The Colts not going to face Cincinnati. Cole's not going to face them. They've proven they can win anywhere. This is a team that won in Kansas City last year in the AFC Championship. So talk about Bills Mafia, talk about home field advantage. Yes, it's there. The Bills have that. It's not going to phase Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow in this game. Give me the Bengals, who are playing some dang good football with underrated defense, to win this ball game and advance to yet another AFC Championship game. This is a team on a mission to go out and redeem themselves from that Super Bowl loss, and they're going to keep their quest alive with a thrilling victory, maybe one of the best games of the year on Sunday afternoon. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below, including all of the spread picks for these NFL playoffs games over on the gridironexpert.com. Go check it out. The link for that, again, down in the description below so you can become a part of our GE Nation. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.